Hey, friends and family, hope you're having an amazing day. I'm sorry that everything is running just a little late today, but I'm grateful to be coming to you from the church. As you can see behind me, our beautiful auditorium has been set up and was set up last week for church. We had a wonderful, wonderful first day back. I just want to say how grateful I was that our volunteer base came out and were so helpful in getting everything set up. As you can see, we have everything spread out 6 feet apart in the sanctuary. We've reduced our capacity by 2/3, and we'll be doing the same thing this weekend at 8:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Now, we are going to be talking in just a few moments about some things that we need to change for this weekend, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment. And I hope that if you are a CenterPointe person, you will share this video on your page so that other CenterPointers will see it and know what's up. So, but before I get into talking about this weekend, I want to share something that I read today. There's a little book, a little devotional book that I gleaned from, and I really enjoyed this, and I just want to read this to you and hope that it's a blessing. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I'm using a new setup here, so I hope everything's good. Yeah, looks like everything's fine. All right, so here's what the Bible says in Hebrews chapter 12, verse number 2. It says, "Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured to the cross, despising the shame, and he has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." It's one of my favorite passages of Scripture. I've been reading that passage and preaching from that passage since I was about 16 years old. Here's what the devotional says. It says, "In running a marathon, as with any sport, what you focus your attention on is critical. It is the difference between winning and losing, finishing well and not finishing at all." In the Isthmian Games in ancient Greece, a pedestal stood at the finish line. On that pedestal, most likely, was a laurel wreath which would be worn by the winner, a wreath that would fade, become brittle, and crumble in time. But the writer of Hebrews tells us that we are fixing our attention on Jesus as we run this race called the Christian life. Too often, we get ourselves focused on the wrong things. We may focus on the person in the stands or maybe even our own feet as we run, but our focus should be on Jesus. He is our goal, and his goal was the joy that was set before him, which is our salvation. He not only is our example, he is our focus. What's interesting about Hebrews 12 and 2 is that he tells us that we should lay aside every sin and weight in our lives. And lately I've been thinking about how many people get tripped up in life because of the sins and the weights that they allow to trip them up. You know, some things are sins, some things are weights. Some things are weighty in the sense that they weigh our conscience down, they weigh our testimony down, they weigh our spirits down, our hearts down. They're not necessarily sins, but they are weights. And then some things are just downright sinful. And the author says, set them aside, put them aside. How do we do that? We do that by fixing our eyes on Jesus, by looking unto Jesus. And, you know, I think about the Roman runners as they would come into the Colosseum wearing their jewels and their gold medals and their silver medals and bronze medals, weighted down with the weights of the past so that they could intimidate their opponents. But before they run, they have to take all of that off. And, you know, we all want to run well this race that we're in. The only way to do it is to truly focus on Jesus. So let's see who's watching today. That's just a word for you today. Hi, Mandy. Hello. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Laura Green. Hope everybody's doing well today. I want to talk a little bit about this weekend. As you can see behind us, we're set up 6 feet apart. We're going to be creating some new clusters of seats to provide for families of 3s and 4s. So right now what we have is seats of 6, as you can see, that's right back here. We have single seats, which are to my right, your left, which you may not be able to see. I'm trying to see here if you can see that. Probably not. And the single seats are for those who are by themselves. And then there are couples seats on the wings who are on the sides, all 6 feet apart, most of the time more than 6 feet apart. So the problem that we have is that oftentimes if a single person, or not single, but someone who's by yourself, you are singularly visiting church. If you sit in a 6-person row, what that does is cancels out that row, okay? So I'm going to let you see it here. I'm going to get out of the way here and let you just see the sanctuary. So if you can see those 6 people rows there, if a single person, one person sits on that row, it cancels out an entire row. So what the goal is and what our hope is that you will sit with your family or you will sit with your loved ones if they come with you. And if you are by yourself, that you will sit in a seat by yourself. Now, we know that's not optimal. We know that's not the best thing in the world. But what it does is it avoids canceling out an entire row, because if you sit here, that row is obsolete. That's the only way that we can make this work. So we're going to be creating some rows that will have 3s and 4s as opposed to just having 6s, 2s, and 1s, if that makes sense. And also something that we're going to be trying to do is, or if something you can help us with, is only sit with the people that you ride to church with, okay? So if you ride together, sit together. But if you're coming into the church and you are separate families, it's very critical and important that you sit separately, okay? We don't want to encourage bringing people together on the same row unless you are family and you've been together for a long period of time. So this is our plan. This is what we'd love for you to help us with for this weekend. We, as the volunteer base, will be wearing masks, and we're going to get even tighter and stricter about that for this week. We're all going to be wearing masks if we are out and about in the lobby or out here in the sanctuary talking with people, our worship team, our musicians, our media team. Everyone will be in masks. Now, while I'm preaching, I will not be wearing a mask. While the team is singing on the stage, they won't be wearing masks, but it's important you understand, if you could see the stage, that where the singers are going to be standing, they're going to be much, much more than 10 feet away from even the front row. So there's safety in the singing coming from the stage, and they're spread out, and we are sanitizing the microphones as well for the safety of our singers. So we're taking precautions that we feel are absolutely necessary because we still do have a pandemic in our world. We still do have a virus, and we want to use wisdom. And as we said in the very beginning, faith and wisdom are not mutually exclusive. So we are taking precautions. So if you're a family, sit with your family only. If you're by yourself, sit in a single seat. If you're a couple, sit in the couple's seats, and we will be able to continue to have church. I'm really, really excited. Oh, and also we're going to be sanitizing everything as we have been. We're encouraging hygiene, wash your hands. All the doors are going to be propped open as we've been doing. I'm really excited about a week from this Wednesday, which is Wednesday, June the 3rd. Wednesday, June 3rd. I think I said that right. At 6:30 p.m., we're going to be having an outdoor service. And this is specifically catered to some of you who don't feel comfortable being confined to the 4 walls, but you want to come to church. We are going to have an outdoor service, and this is a lawn chair Wednesday night service. So bring a lawn chair, bring your own chair. We're going to be parking cars 6 feet apart and sitting in front of your car, and we will be still practicing social distancing. We will still be doing everything that we're supposed to be doing, but it'll be a family-friendly outdoor service. Bring the kids. We don't care if they make noise. We don't care if they get rowdy. That's the fun of it, all right? So you parents think your kids are bothering everybody. They're not. Let them have fun, okay? We're going to be having Kona ice here. Really excited about that. So we're going to have snow cones that you can buy for your family and you can purchase, and it's going to be a wonderful day for Lawn Chair Wednesday. Now, if it rains, we're going to have a rain date. We're just going to come back the very next day, that Thursday. We're going to pull the sound equipment in the church, lock it up, and come back the very next evening. So we hope you and your family will join us for that special time. So we just want to thank all of our volunteers today. You know, I've been thinking through all of this, how great it's been for me to be able to call anyone and say, hey, I need you to do this or I need you to do that, and everyone's just stepping up to the plate and they're making it happen. So we're grateful for that. We want to know how we can pray for you. You know, many of you have prayer needs, things that are on your heart and mind, and our job as a church is to partner with you in prayer and to bring needs before the Lord, and we just want to know that we're praying for you. We are so grateful that God has had his hand on our church through this. This past weekend, we had a marvelous time in the Lord. We had some people restore and renew their relationship with Jesus Christ. We had a wonderful time worshiping here in person. and we are just hoping to keep that going. So join us this weekend at 8:30 or 10:30 a.m. You can join us online. We're going to be streaming both services. So for the 8:30 early birds, you can watch the early morning service, or the 10:30 service you can watch as well. We love you so much, and we appreciate you. I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about what's going to happen this weekend. We're still offering Legacy Cafe, which is the best coffee in town. I just got to tell you that. We got the best coffee in town here at CenterPointe. And the doors are going to be open. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me where you're watching from. Let's see who I got here. Got Dennis and Tanya Kirby. Hello, y'all. David Holmes is my uncle. Hello, uncle. Who else do I got here? Tammy Thornton. Hello, Tammy. Laura Green and Mandy, Karen, and Janie. It looks like Reba might be watching me. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. We're going to have a great day Sunday at 8:30 and 10:30, kicking off a brand new sermon series called Fact Check. We are going to walk and live in the truth in an age and a world of deception and lies. We're going to learn about the nature of deception and how we can be a people who don't fall for the enemy's lies. I really think it's going to be a great weekend. We love you. Thank you for listening to me today. See ya.